Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, I gotta tell you, whenever I don't get um any good sun or light from outside, I have to put on a little light. So I have a little light, but the problem is where the good light is in the house, I have to go to the kitchen, but the kitchen doesn't get a good signal. So I'm just in my way this morning. Okay, I'm in my way. But I'm hoping you're having a good day. I hope it's sunny in your heart, even if it's ugly outside like it is here in Florida. But I'm still good. I'm living. I'm living. And I had a little sad news in the middle of the night. My little friend that I love so dearly has gone on to be with the Lord. Her name is Mrs. Evelyn Murray. Just such a sweetheart, and I loved her because she'd occasionally cuss, and that would remind me of my mama. And I would just get so tickled to see, this elderly lady going off, But she'd every once in a while she'd torpedo, and I'd get her back in line. I said, Mrs. Murray, that's not nice, and she'd laugh and she said, well, every once in a while I do cuss. And I figure when you're going to be 91 and she just turned 92 in July, it's okay. It's okay. I hope I get to be that age. My mother lived to be almost 3 weeks shy of 95, and my grandmother was 96, and my auntie was 100. My auntie was 104. So longevity runs in the family. Good morning, OJ. So as far as I'm concerned, okay, a little cussing ain't gonna hurt nobody, okay? And even at 92, God is still working on you. You may say some things that you shouldn't say, but occasionally it's yours. And as you get older, you're probably gonna say a lot of things that you don't even remember you said. And people will be forgiving. They will be kind. They will be loving. Um, and at first, I thought I was going to be real sad because I did know that she was struggling, and it'll just tell you how you can be prepared for stuff and don't know that you're prepared. But I did my mourning for her when I saw things being taken away from her, like her ability to see, her ability to walk by herself and drive a car. That was horrible because she was still driving her car at 91. So that'll let you know. And I would always say, Miss Mary, you gotta wait till I get home before you start driving. And she'd laugh about that. But she was a giver, she was a servant. And so I hope you don't mind me just giving her a few little words of shouting out just about the goodness of some people that we're given to our daily lives that we get to see and believe and love on. And so she was like my mama, and I loved her. I did. But today we're going to talk about soul. And I tell you, you can have there's the soul of you know of who you are. Okay, that your inner workings, the soul of you. And then there's also soul food. There's soulful music. So and soul has this tendency to really speak to the stirring of what uh you're all about, or what you like to do, or what you like to feel, or what you like to hear and see. Those are the soulful things of what I call life, the soulfulness of life. And so we're going to talk a little about soul this morning and what it may mean to you. And so I put in a dot dot dot, to just say I don't know what your soul may be feeling, but even during pandemic, there's probably some people who have gone up and down on how they feel and where their what I would say their focus is, and how stationary they are on life, because it gives us great ponder when we see a lot of death, and we see people disappearing and people becoming ill, and some people healing and some people not. So the important thing is that things are happening. They're happening out there. So in talking about soul, I got a couple of poems this morning. They're short. It says, age but timeless, aged but timeless, antiquated as an old grandfather clock. Wisdom spills the brim of this coffee cup. In stories scented with a vintage steak, youth possess the soul of something, an antique as treasure lying within, obsolete. Now, I like that poem, and the reason I like it is because it talks about you still who you are, but there may be some things going on in you, things you have no control over, but they're you. They're you. They're things that you like, and maybe something old, something relic. In fact, that they said that that's what happens to the soul once you get older and older, that you have a tendency to be comfortable in it. You know what it is. You feel it. It is you. It's a part of you. And so it says that youth possess the soul of something, an antique as treasure lying within, obsolete. So even that says that no matter what you've brought along, it's lying there. It's a part of you. You've experienced it. It is you. And it may be obsolete. It may have gone out of style. Because, sometimes you ever see people, that may still have Jerry curls, or they may, still have, the big, huge hair, which is coming back in now. Or they may have the bell bottoms, which is also back in. So after a while, you see if they stay there long enough, someone is coming back down that lane and be dressing the same way, looking the same way, acting the same way, because that's what happens. Hi, Joan. That's what happens. Life just really comes in. Hi, Ruth, and my Joan. It is what it is. So the next poem I have is called Shine. In that first poem, neither one of those poems had any names by them, but I'll go back and look, and if there's a name and I just missed it, I'll let you know. But this one is called, it says, shine, for you are light, and wander, for there are galaxies within you, and stardust dances in the soul. Stars live in your eyes, and the glory and grace live in your boxes. You are beautiful, you are light, and wonder, you shine. To me, that talks about that you can't always, I don't think the soul is tangible. Okay? I think it's a feeling. I think it's a way. It's a way of life for you. It may be, the style you have. It may be the foods you like to eat, the people you enjoy yourself being around, the soul, the inside. It may be, what you feel about somebody, and the heart of you, and the service of you, and all the things that make you up are what the soul brings about in us. And I that's why I love the fact that it transitioned from not just being internal to also being external with what we eat and what we wear. Like when I was coming up, everything was, soul. I remember Soul Brother #1. Who was it? Write it in there. And then they had the Soul Train, and it was, get people all over the world. Soul Train, everything was going on about the soul. So it is a feeling, it is a way of life. It is, for me, it was how I grew up, music playing all the time, morning till night, night till morning, somebody talking, somebody getting, their groove on. It might be popping of the fingers. It was something was stirring all the time, which made it fun, which made it a lot of fun. So when we talk about the soul, then when we dig into Marion, Miss M.W., Marion says this. It says the spiritual or immortal part of a human being, an animal, as regarded as immortal. We realize that that's what we understand about the internal side, the spiritual makeup of us, but it also draws into all the things that we can tap into, the fun things, the things that make us want to dance, make us want to pop our fingers, make us want to eat some good food, whatever that good food is. If you like good food that's soulful, write it in there. Okay, it says, so spirit, it talks about it being the feeling, which is what I was talking about, see? The inspiration, the emotion, the passion, the animation, the warmth, and the vitality. All those things speak to the soul of us, the soulfulness of us. but to keep it short, I just did soul. But all of us, no matter who we have our own way of dealing with what we feel, what we want to eat, what we want to wear. That's our internal, uncertain of how we feel. How we feel is supreme. So when we first talk about the S of soul, we talk about the Sagain, and that is the being optimistic or positive, especially in or apparently when something is going bad. You can still remain positive because you're anchored in who you are. You know who you are, okay, and therefore you're not going to be budged easily left or right or up or down. You are settled on what it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is, good, bad, indifferent. You okay? You got an answer for it. So it talks about being hopeful, soul power. That's right, soul power. Talks about you being hopeful, you being confident, cheerful, cheery, bright, assured, and upbeat. All those things speak to what the Sagain does for us as being in our soul, in our spirit of who we are. Who are we? We have to look at that. The O of soul is for oneness. It's your oneness. It's not that you're in several different parts, even though all those parts feed to the whole, but it's the whole thing. And it says the fact or state of being unified or whole through whatever it is that you're dealing with. 2 or more parts, 3 parts, 5 parts. I always ask myself, how many parts am I going to be today? Remember Sybil? How many personalities was Sybil? Okay, we're not talking personalities though in this instance, but it just shows you that you didn't know in her instance who was going to show up, who's going to show up every day. So sometimes that's how we are. We may be a bit, scattered, where one part feels more dominant over some of the other parts that we have. We're more interested in eating than we are in talking. We're more interested in maybe dancing than we are in doing something else. Good morning, Rodolfo. So we want to do other things, but the oneness speaks to how connected all those parts are to make the whole. That would what is the census of that, the consensus of that. So it talks about one's individuality, one's anonymity, one's unitedness, one's one accord. Looking at the just how people are put together. It says one's unity, and union. All those things speak to what happens, what goes on with all the information that carries on. I forgot to turn my phone off, so it was beeping. I apologize for that. So anyway, we want to talk about our oneness and what our oneness does for us. And it does it for us every single day. Even if we're not totally in touch with it, it's doing something. It's going to tell us, okay, we need to get this done, get that done, feel a certain way. Okay, if we don't get this done, that one, we're going to feel another way. That's just our makeup. And our spiritualness may be, have we prayed? Have we prayed over what we're getting ready to eat? Have we been on our knees and asked for mercy and grace and being thankful for all the opportunity to see another day? Those would be certainly how we would get in touch with our spirituality and our oneness of where we are. The next area speaks to the unification of ourselves. And the unification is the process of being united. So once again, we're still talking about who we are, united or made into being whole. So if you can probably have soul and things be missing, obviously. But in this instance, they're talking about the soul of us is really all connected. They're all connected if we decide to look at them as being connected and needing to be connected. But some people probably, only, they treat their life like they do their food. They eat all of one thing first, and then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing. And I've seen people do that, where they learn to eat all of one thing first, before they go on to the next portion of their meal or next section of their meal. But it says the process of being united or made into a whole, it's the union, it's the merger, it's the fusion. And I feel that we are fused. We have some things that we don't even realize we should pull in closer, only because there's good stuff there. There's good stuff. Sometimes if we spend enough time with ourselves, we're going to learn something. We're going to know something. We're going to find something out. It talks about that we could be looking at an amalgamation, an integration, a consolidation, a junction, a coalition, and a marriage. All those things to me are like, and we're like a salad. Think about it. All the good stuff that we have. And sometimes we may take out the onions because we may go to a meeting. We don't want to smell like onions. Or we may take out the tomato, okay? Or we may take out, the bad lettuce. For me, I'm not particularly, liking of the regular lettuce. I like romaine or the spring mix. I like that kind of lettuce. The iceberg, yeah. But at least I know. And sometimes that's what we do. We take out, we leave out some of the good stuff. I mean, I probably should eat all the lettuce. We leave out some of the good stuff only because we don't know how good it is for us. But if we're connected, if we're united, if we've gone through this unification of ourselves and we know who we are, we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry. We can go through things and we can call on different sections of ourselves to treat what needs to be treated. Okay, today I need to put on a heavy thinking mind, or I need to, I got company coming, I need to cook a meal, so I'm going to have to put on, now I got to put some performance on. I got to figure out this recipe and put it on there so that it tastes good and I'm not killing the folks that come. So, just looking at what we do, we're interesting people. We're interesting. We have a lot going for us, but we don't always put it together and put it in there as our soulful salad, our soulful meal, our macaroni and cheese, our fried chicken. Now that's what we grew up on being soulful. We only got that on Sunday. It wasn't like Lily was cooking, all that stuff during the week. No. During the week you may get spaghetti, okay? You may get a soup. You may get some beans. But on Sunday, they pulled out the chicken came out, okay? And no, she wasn't in the backyard because, I'm a city girl. No, she wasn't in the backyard going to get that chicken. Because I probably, if I saw the chicken being his neck being wrung, I probably would never eat chicken again. So I'm going to have to stay in my own lane. Now, that's just my own little, okay, adding something. Just adding something. But anyway, to really talk about my soulful meal, I also talk about my soulful self. What I want to do, how I want to look, where I want to go, what I want to read tonight or watch on TV. What is it? All those speak to the soul of us, the soul, the inner workings of how we deal. And the last thing I love about soul is our liberation. Our liberation, meaning the act of seeing someone free from any kind of imprisonment, slavery, or oppression, released. And I think that's what the soul will do. If you decide who you are and you stand on it and you do just what you want to do, you not only are living through the soul of you, you're living through the head of you, the heart of you, the trust of you, the will of you, the being of you. That's who you are. That's who you are. So the liberation is the freeing. It says the unshackling, the unchaining, the freedom, the liberty, the emancipation, the equality, the independence. All those speak to your going, your coming, your eating, your sleeping, everything. I sometimes think about people who have gone through slavery, who says, love me some Sunday soul food dinner. That's right. The interesting thing about food is that it brings people together. Like that Sunday dinner, it's going to bring you together. Okay, and you got to sometimes, I remember we used to have the preacher come over, and the preacher ate before us, and we'd be looking at him like, is he going to eat all the food? Oh, don't he can go home. Okay, he going to eat all the soulful dinner that my mom prepared. But my mother wasn't born, without values of taking care of her kids. Child, she had chicken in the kitchen, but we didn't know because we had to stay outside playing. But then towards the end of their meal with the pastor, because she didn't have us over listening to the grown folks' conversation, she was fixing the meal. And we knew, so we grew up knowing what a Sunday soulful meal was. We did. And when I think about, even for my Sunday, I sometimes think I haven't eaten if I don't have a piece of chicken. But I have gotten better. It doesn't always have to be fried anymore, because I'm a little bit more health conscious. So I don't fry the chicken all the time. In fact, I have baked chicken in my refrigerator right now. So sometimes we just have to look at life differently and just enjoy it. Enjoy it on the terms that make sense. On being our own soulfulness, whatever that soulfulness is, to deal with the spirituality of us, to deal with the, what we see, what we hear, what we do, what we eat, when we sleep. All those things make up the soulful me, the soulful you. That's who we are. And so, looking at our questions for today in our soulful area, I'm going to ask you this one question. Do you have soul? Write it down. Write it down. Hope you have a piece of paper and a pen, and just write down a few things. Okay? And I need you to share my videos. I would love it. And a lot of people are saying they've seen them, but I've never seen it where, there's a lot of sharing and they come from that. So I don't know where they're coming from, but there's a lot of people who keep telling me they're singing them, but I love it. I appreciate you for doing that. And it says, number 2, it says, during the time of this pandemic, do you have that sense of sanguine where you're just looking out, you're on the outlook for what's out there? What am I looking for? What am I optimistic about what I see for myself, what I see where I want to go and what I want to do. And it boils down to decisions, yours, no one else's. That's what it boils down. Okay, T says, be yourself, everyone else is taken. Do you, boo? That's right. Do you? Do you? Absolutely. Question number 3, do you feel a oneness in yourself, or do you feel all these disjointed parts? Like, I'm quite sure Sybil had disjointed parts, so when she came out, she only came out with one for the day, or it might be for the minute, but she came out. She came out and showed herself. Okay, they never knew who Sybil was going to be. And sometimes we may not know. We may get up with the intention of we're going to do this, do that, eat this and eat that, and by the end of the day, we're going to be on a diet. I used to do that. I don't do that anymore. I used to always say, I'm on a diet, child. By the end of the day, the diet won. Okay, I lost. Okay, because I basically gave the diet thing up and started eating the diet I was used to. Okay, and sometimes that's what happens to us. We just have to know that we may be having all these parts, and sometimes the parts may be more dominant than the whole. And so that's why you have to get yourself aligned as to what you're going to do and trying to be able to stick to what it is you've committed to. The next question is, do you see or feel yourself as being, unified, in a unification of yourself? Do you find it? Do you know that I keep speaking of oneness, not trying to have a whole bunch of parts, understanding that you have parts, but trying to keep them aligned sometimes may be what's difficult, to keeping them aligned. Maurice, I hope you're having a good day too. It says, and the last question, as relates to your soul, do you have liberation? Are you liberated this morning? Do you feel that even though we're not under communist rule, that we still have some things that are bearing down on us? I don't know. It's like every day I get up, I feel I'm free. Okay. I know I don't have the life that some of my forefathers and mothers had and dealt with. I don't know what it is to be beaten and whipped and called names. I don't know that. I don't even know what it is to say I had to go to a separate water fountain. Don't know that. Because we lived in New York and my parents moved away from that. Now the older kids knew something about it. We didn't. So every day I get up, I feel as free as I can be, as I can be, because there's always restraints. There's always, the money issue. There may be, you know, did I do something? Do I have a job that pays enough? Do I have something that keeps me occupied? Do I have somebody that loves me and cares about me? So all those things really generate the importance of what, finding liberation is. And, I think all of us probably right now feel that there's some problem in being liberated with the fact that we're under a pandemic. So we're not able to do all the things that we were doing before, going when we got ready to go and not being fearless about it. Seeing who we wanted to see, not being fearless, not having fear about it. We just did what we wanted to do. Okay. Ate where we wanted to eat. Okay. Dealt with whomever and whatever. But we have a pause. And originally it was a pregnant pause because we thought it was going to be over like a cold. Not so. Didn't happen. Good morning. Yashimi, Yasha. How are ya? Anyway, we need to do something. We need to do something that talks about our oneness, our soulfulness. And all of us have soul. All of us have a way of going forward. We should always remember those who have paved the way for us to be free. Absolutely. Absolutely. As we move forward in our lives, we should be looking back only long enough to say thank you, but looking forward to find out, are we setting a path for others to follow, that we can also at one day be told thank you. I'm going to thank my lady friend, Mrs. Murray, who taught me something about growing old. She taught me about the whole fact of understanding that that we love whoever we love, and we can be giving, and I found her to be so giving. So the fact that she's gone this morning, I'm okay with her leaving because I know she was tired. I know she was tired. So my oneness, my way towards my soul, yeah, it touched me when I heard early this morning that she passed away. But now that I know that, I remember her going down. And I don't remember me wanting her to stay there, because sometimes down is down. When we can no longer see, we can no longer walk, we can no longer do these things. Good morning, Model. And we can do these things, then we understand that life as we've known it changes. And so if we've been thankful to those in the past, then others eventually will thank us, as long as we're leading a way for them to come. And I feel even if you have a small family or no family, you can still lead. You can still do something. You shared it on the page. Oh, thanks, OJ. On the Oneonta page. That's our undergraduate school in New York. But anyway, we want to just say that I love you. I appreciate you for coming. And I love the fact that you all when you come, you stay, and that's good. And today's issue of the soulfulness of us is true. We are who we are, and our soul. Okay. Sometimes it cries out for attention. It cries out for whatever it needs, And so I'm asking whatever you all need this morning, that it be given to you. It be given to you in abundance, and that you continue searching for your oneness, being unified, being that's going to understand the importance of what it is that makes you optimistic and that you live every day to your fullest. You know, I love you. I love you. I love you. I will see you tomorrow, the last day of the week, and I hope it'll be a good thing. Good morning, Miss Rosie. Good morning. Share my video, and please, please, please say hello to Miss Rosie. Miss Rosie is another sweet lady. I always find them, y'all. I'm going to find me some sweet folks. I'm going to find them. But anyway, it's about to thunder, and therefore my Wi-Fi may go out, but I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a good day, and please take care of yourself. Cover up if you're going out. Bye-bye.